All right, we are live. I am going to share this to Twitter. And if anyone wants to watch, that would be fantastic. And all right, it is Tuesday, which means it is release day for books. And I did this last week, and I liked doing it last week. I'm going to go ahead and do it again this week, and maybe this will become a thing. I'm having fun doing it, so that's what's important about doing it. This one won't be as long as last week. Last week, I talked for over an hour. I'm going to try to keep these down to 30 minutes. And it's kind of like a 30-minute podcast type thing of new release books. And I am going to be using, once again, Barnes & Noble, their science fiction and fantasy blog, great blog. It has a lot of great things on it, content, and once again, they put out something that shows what came out today, the things that they think are the best, and then we will then check out Amazon and see what's selling the best right now, what's selling the best for these books in particular, and if there's any books that I missed, okay? And while I'm doing this, I'm going to be looking these books up on Goodreads, see if any of my friends have read them, see what they thought about them, kind of see how people are reacting to these books. All right, so first off, there's a new genre book. Terry Brooks is still writing in his genre world. This is The Sorcerer's Daughter. And the synopsis here is, Brooks returns to the Shannara universe with a standalone book that will draw in both longtime fans and new fans of the MTV series. At a peace summit sponsored by druids, who have sought to protect the Four Lands for centuries, a demon runs amok and the druids' political opponents turn up dead, which doesn't look good for the druids. Paxton Leah, leader of the Ancient Order, knows the sorcerer Arcanan Ray is behind the treachery, but what Ray really wants is Leia's daughter, who possesses a powerful magic. As the two foes circle one another, Leia's daughter and Leia's life mate, Leofer, plots against her father in a bid to stop him from destroying everything she loves. Magic flies fast and furious as the conflict between druid and sorcerer escalates, but the story comes down to the two women at the center of each man's life. So this is one of the Defenders of Shannara books. I believe that the Defenders books are kind of like prequel type books. Yeah, it's a standalone Shannara novel in the Defenders of Shannara series. Let's put that up. This is on Goodreads. Yeah, Defenders of Shannara. Let's look at that real quick. This is a series of independent standalone novels set after the events of the Dark Legacy of Shannara. These books conclude the Shannara series for the moment. So these are like... Okay, so we have... Wow. So we have the original trilogy, then we have the... Let's do the chronological order of Shannara, just so people understand this. Here we go. Alright, in chronological order, we have the Word and Void series, which actually I got really cheap. And then there's the Genesis of Shannara series, which is like the prequel books. And then there's the Legends of Shannara series, which is after that. The things that the original Shannara series doesn't start until book 10, and like the Elfstone and all that. So if you were going to read these books in chronological order, the book that just got released is way, way down the list at book 30. 30. Yes. So this is definitely for people that have been reading this series their entire life. I have so many books by Terry Brooks because you find these books a lot at thrift stores, so I have quite a few of his books. A friend of mine, Duchovny, gave it a 4 stars. He liked it. He had an arc for it, enjoyed it. Right now, the rating is at 3.7 with a 46 rating. Not bad, not bad. Here's one here. Although this is advertised as a standalone, I think I would have gotten more out of this book if I had read the previous books in the series. So, pretty much everyone is saying that reading the other books, you might have gotten more out of it, and that the prose and the voices were pretty plain. I've heard that the later you go into this series, the more it is character-based, less plot-based, which is pretty cool. So yeah. Okay, let's move on from The Sorcerer's Daughter. People will probably pick it up if they're fans of Terry Brooks and have read all 30 of his books. Okay. All Fixed Up by Linda Grimes, the 4th installment of Grimes' tongue-in-cheek urban fantasy series featuring Seal Halligan, a shapeshifter who puts her impeccable impersonation skills to use as a note-perfect stand-in for her clients. This time she's posing as a camera-shy astronaut just about to announce an important scientific breakthrough. Oh, cool. So it's a shapeshifter that takes people's places when they can't do what they're supposed to be doing. Like, for example, this person's really shy. When one of the members of the media in attendance is somehow able to see through her magical disguise, and more than that, intent on doing something nasty. Make sure the chat's up. It is not up. Boop, boop, ba-doo. Alright, 1 second. When her aunt turns up dead and the same photographer is seen working about the funeral, Seal seeks the help of the 2 men in her life in order to figure out what's going on, assuming they can stop squabbling long enough to do it. If you're looking for a fast-moving, lighthearted, supernatural caper, this series is a sure bet. Alright, so this is a kind of a fun urban fantasy, all fixed up. We'll see what people think of it. Linda Grimes, this is the 4th book in the Seal Halligan series. 4.18 right now, but only has 11 ratings. So, it's pretty cool. This is by Tor, so, you know, Tor's a big company, and getting into the urban fantasy market. Let's see. This reviewer says, the series is so much fun, so different from most urban fantasies, with humor interwoven along with mystery and romance, and of course, a very unique aspect of adapters. You won't find witches or demons or vampires or werewolves here. Instead, you'll find magic of a different sort. Cool. Outrageous read full of laughs, danger, and action. So, it's a fun little book. Okay, there we go. Got the chat popped out now. Yeah. Seal Halligan. Let's see what the first book is called. In a Fix. I do not like the covers of these. These covers are not so great. Okay. In a Fix, Seal Halligan #1. This one has a 3.64. Not bad. Alright. So if you're into lighthearted urban fantasy, maybe you might want to check that one out. Okay, here we go. Dark Run by Mike Brooks. In the far future, Earth is an afterthought. Our species has spread through the stars and corruption runs rampant. The more things change. The Kiko is a ramshackled starship crewed by mercenaries looking for a quick buck, smugglers trying to stay one step ahead of the law, and those just looking for adventure, and members of that later group at least are going to get what they want and may soon wish they didn't when the ship takes on a mission that will send them back to a derelict cradle of humanity. Someone is blackmailing Captain Ichabod Drift, forcing him to carry a secret cargo on a stealth mission, a dark run in service of a darker purpose. It's a fast, fun fantasy caper that will draw more than one comparison to a little Joss Whedon space show you may have heard of. Yes, everyone wants to be the book version of Firefly. Dark Run. Whoops. Dark Run by Mike Brooks. Joe just read this, and I believe he just reviewed this as well. I can't think of his channel at the moment. I think it's Final Joe Blow, I think, something like that. Yeah, he just read this. He liked this. Catherine read this as well, and she liked it. So we have Catherine, which is someone that I respect with her science fiction knowledge, gave it a 4-star. Joe, the guy I was just talking about, gave it a 4-star as well. They both received it as part of their NetGalley, and 4 stars from 2 people that really like it. Yeah, Final Blow Joe is Joe's YouTube tag. So that's pretty great. Catherine says it's not really original, but it's fun, and if you enjoy Tales of the Kitty J steampunk series of books, you would probably like this book. Pretty cool. I am definitely going to add this to my to be read, maybe. That's cool. Dark Run by Mike Brooks. It sounds a lot like just like a fun Firefly-ish type thing. Okay, here we go. Next one, Smoke by Dan Valletta. Imagine a world where your dark thoughts and sinful acts resulted in a physical mark. Ooh, kind of like Supernatural a little bit. Okay, black smoke that pours uncontrollably from your body, even more like Supernatural. Okay. In such a world, Valletta imagines the upper classes of Victorian England would maintain their position and their power by being visibly more pure than their lessers, and the children of the elite would be sent to posh schools to learn how to control their base impulses in order to limit the smoke. Interesting. Thomas and Charlie meet at one such school, but their suddenly intertwined lives take a dark turn when an experience leads them to question everything they've been taught about the smoke, society, and their place in it. Filled with rich ideas in an ever-deepening fictional world, Smoke has endless supplies of imagination and twisty plotting. I'm a big fan of twisty plotting. So, yeah, let's see what people say about Smoke. By Dan Valletta. It's a 3.7 right now. 170 ratings. I like the idea that that this smoke is coming out of people, and that the upper class is trying to not have the smoke because the lower class is just drenched in soot and smoke, and so they're kind of preparing people how to control this, which is pretty cool. So fantasy, historical fantasy, kind of England a century ago. That's kind of cool. Alright, let's see. Leah Bayer. Smoke has basically all the hype. You can't compare something to Harry Potter and his Dark Materials and expect people to stay really calm about it. So I came into this book cautious and only a little optimistic. I mean, those are 2 of the great series. So people are making comparisons to those 2, of course. She gave it a 4. Yeah. It's not... She's saying it's what YA really should strive to be, but it's not really labeled as YA. But it's good for YA readers, she's basically saying, which is really cool. It's a dark and broody novel. She really liked this book and thought it was great. Christine, gave it a 4. And she really enjoyed this as well. Alternate England. Excellent job creating Smoke and its history. I found myself at a tug of war within quite often through the book. What is right? What is wrong? Different points of view given gave a richness to the storyline and added depth to this alternate world. This was a fantastical adventure of right versus wrong. Ah, cool. Well, with her review, I like that because it's very philosophical, and morality has a lot to play in this book, and it does sound very good. There is a love triangle, though. Not bad. I'm going to read this. An elite boarding school where the sons of the wealthy are groomed to take power as their birthright. Teachers with mysterious ties to warring political factions at the highest levels of government. 3 young people who learn everything they've been taught is a lie, knowledge that could cost them their lives. A grand estate where secrets lurk in attic rooms and hidden laboratories. A love triangle, a desperate chase, revolutionaries and secret police. Religious fanatics and cold-hearted scientists, murder, a London filled with danger and wonder, a tortured relationship between a mother and a daughter, and a mother and a son, unexpected villains, and unexpected heroes. Cool reason versus passion, rich versus poor, right versus wrong, though which is which isn't clear. That sounds actually kind of fun. Alright, to be read maybe, which is pretty much every book. Okay, here we go. Next one we have Ghost of Cam. Is that an R or an M? Yep, that's an R. GG font. Ghost of Karnak by George Mann. The latest in George Mann's series following the adventures of the Ghost, the world's first steampunk superhero in an alternate 1920s New York, continues. This time, a new exhibit showcasing ancient Egyptian artifacts at the Met seems to have brought with it an ancient killer who is carving strange symbols into victims' bodies and leaving them strewn about Manhattan. For the Ghost, the strange occurrences have a personal bent. His old flame, Ginny, was part of the expedition to Egypt and never returned. Art Deco steampunk is a pretty specific descriptor for a novel series, but Mann manages to pull it off for a third time with this fast-moving adventure. So this is definitely it's a series. It's third in a series. George Mann. Is it the Ghost? Whoops. Sorry. A Ghost novel. The first one had a 3.29. And the second one has only 1 rating so far and has a 4. So this sounds like a very fun, steampunkish superhero. I'm getting a lot of the Shadow feels. If anyone saw like the Shadow movie or the old, I think it was a comic book way back in the day, the Shadow. I'm getting a little bit of the Mummy type feels to it with the Mummy movies. Seems interesting. No one has read it really. No one that I know. You can win a copy of the book. Let's check out the first book. Because if I was to read this, I would read the first book, of course. Ghost of Manhattan. 904 ratings. 3.29. Wow. That's kind of wow. Introducing the world's first steampunk superhero. So this whole steampunk superhero thing is basically the selling point. 1926, New York, the roaring 20s, jazz, flappers, prohibition, coal-powered cars, cool. A Cold War with a British Empire that still covers half the globe. That needs definitely a better synopsis. And none of my friends have read it. This one here, if I wanted to read Batman fan fiction, I could have probably found better fiction on the internet for free. Okay. So yeah, he's kind of right. It is a little bit Batman-ish in a way. But anyways, that's what it is. Ghost of Karnak, the third book in the a ghost novel series. Okay, and then the big book of the day, the one that a lot of people that love this series are reading. It is the third book in the Passage series. It is the City of Mirrors by Justin Cronin. Cronin delivers a near-perfect finale for his award-winning best-selling series with 11 of the 12 virals destroyed. Okay, so possibly spoilers, but not really. It seems like humanity can finally breathe a sigh of relief and begin reclaiming the world, but Zero, the last viral, remains in New York and has other plans. Cronin explores the world before the virus and the people directly responsible for the apocalypse, while also bringing together the characters we've come to love and putting them into a satisfying, heartbreaking climax that will have readers white-knuckled as they read and completely satisfied when they're done. The final book in the Passage trilogy rewards readers' patience in a big way. This is a huge book. People love this series. I have the first book myself. I have not read it yet. I have the Passage. Okay, for this one here, we have a 4.07 review rating and almost 800 reviews. No one of my friends has read it yet, but a lot of my horror fan friends definitely want to read it. Kaora, Chris, Keely. So that looks promising. It's just, so this is like a horror, post-apocalyptic type of series. A lot of people compare this to The Stand by Stephen King. That's a pretty high praise comparison, but that's what they do. The first book has almost 123,000 ratings, which is relatively high for a horror book. It has a 4 rating as well, which is relatively high for a horror book. I found that horror books on Goodreads don't get as high ratings because they're very divisive. Excuse me. Some people absolutely love the book, or some people absolutely hate the book. And this is definitely one of those huge horror trilogies that if you want to get like really deep into horror, read this huge trilogy for months, this is the one you want to check out, because you know each book is over 700 pages, I believe. And yeah, my friend Kiori gave it the first book a 5. Noelle gave it a 3. Miriam P is actually someone I respect her views on books. She only gave it a 1 though. She just thought it was just way too long. Chris gave it a 3. P.T. Hilton gave it a 5. P.T. has great taste in horror books, and Peggy does as well. She gave it a 5, so that's great. And quite a few other people have read it, gave it a 4. And yeah, for the most part, people love this series. If you want a huge, chunky horror series to really read a ton, check out the Passage series and the book that just came out, City of Mirrors. Alright, so those are the things on Barnes & Noble here. Let's go to Amazon.com and see what's selling the best. We have the City of Mirrors selling the best of the hardcover the last 30 days. And I did it by publication date. So we have City of Mirrors selling really well. Sorcerer's Daughter is selling well as well. We have a couple things here. I think these are, I'm not sure what this is. Overlord Volume 1, The Undead King. Let's check it out. Oh, it's like manga, I think. Yeah. Alright, let's just read about it. Oh, yeah, it's manga. Overlord Volume 1. It's like a huge volume of this manga. For 12 years, a virtual world of Driscoll has served as the playground and battlefield for the skeletal lord Momonga and his guild of fellow monsters. But the guild's glory days are over and the game is shutting down permanently. Oh no! When Momonga logs in one last time, just to be there when the servers go dark, something happens and suddenly fantasy is reality. A rogues gallery of fanatically devoted NPCs is ready to obey his every order, but the world Mamonga now inhabits is not the one he remembers. The game may be over, but the epic tale of his guild is only beginning. So, yeah, it's kind of a darker twist on that one anime. I can't think of the name at the moment. But I watched like half of it, and the first half was good, but the second half was awful. I forget what it's called. Oh, anyways, Smoke, a novel, is sung relatively well. That's great. That one seemed the most interesting of the newer release books, I think. Haunted Destiny by Heather Graham just came out. This is the Crew of Hunters series. Newest story in Heather Graham's popular Crew of Hunters series, Haunted Destiny, is another page-turner set on a cruise ship. You'll never look at taking a vacation the same way again. Ooh. So it's a haunted ship. Urban fantasy. Some people might like that, enjoy that. Crew of Hunters. Short book, 320 pages. Alright, let's see what else we have here. Steampunk Soldiers, the American Frontier. Open book. What does that mean? I don't know. Huh. It's like a... It's like a steampunk military history book? Alright. Okay, Doctor Who, the 10th Doctor, Volume 4. The Endless Song just came out in the hardcover. I've never read a Doctor Who book or a graphic novel, but I love Doctor Who. And the 10th Doctor is the best Doctor. So, what's this one about? But it doesn't have a synopsis. Okay, GG. It's a, yeah, it's a graphic series. Oh, the Alex Marshall book, A Blade of Black Steel, which is the sequel to the previous book that I'll get the name of real quick. I should remember that because it's on my list to read. A Crown for Cold Silver. So this is the second book. The first book, some people really liked it. Other people didn't like it. I thought it had a lot of great ideas. It's basically like an old group of veterans that has to go back into duty and save the kingdom. The sequel to Alex Marshall's A Crown for Cold Silver, an outstanding game-changing epic adventure featuring an unforgettable warrior. It's pretty cool. After 500 years, the sunken kingdom has returned, dun dun dun, and brought with it a monstrous secret that threatens to destroy every country on the star. As an inhuman army gathers on its shores, poised to invade the Immaculate Isles, the members of the Cobalt Company face an ugly choice: abandon their dreams of glory and vengeance to combat a menace from another realm, or pursue their ambitions and hope the star is still there when the smoke clears. So if you're a fan of like a Seven Samurai type story, but epic fantasy, you might want to check out Alex Marshall's series in the new book, A Blade of Black Steel, which is the second book. The first book is A Crown for Cold Silver. This is the Crimson Empire series. So yeah, I actually wouldn't mind reading this series. I think they sound really cool. Dark Run's doing well. All Fixed Up, not doing so well. So yeah, those are the books that came out today. Yep, that's about it. And 30 minutes is up. So those are the books that came out today. Just talking about new books. If you like this, give me a comment if you enjoyed it. If you think any of these books sound good, let me know. Tell me which ones I think I should read. I think Dark Run by Mike Brooks, Smoke by Dan Filetta sound the best out of these. Probably the ones I would read before any others. And of course, I would like to read the Justin Cronin books, but they are such huge time commitments. They're just a commitment and a half. And the new Alex Marshall book, I wouldn't mind reading that series. I think that series sounds good. All right, thanks for watching. Leave a comment and have a great day. Thank you. I'll see you next week for another release day talk.